bring in Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, first to you on that. You've obviously shown your lack of support for these gun law changes. Why?
Because the Second Amendment is not negotiable. It is not a suggestion. It is a right. And I'm not going to support anything that is going to infringe on a law-abiding citizen's Second Amendment rights.
Got it. So we'll obviously see where all of that goes. Nancy Pelosi under a lot of pressure, clearly, to get something done and needs to win a lot more support. Yeah. I want to move on to obviously the top issue for the American people today. You've seen it in poll after poll. It is inflation. Gas prices continue to soar. I'll just put it up on the screen so we know where things stand today. Today, gas prices national average $4.95. Senator, it is hard to believe how far they have come since Election Day 2020. And I note Election Day rather than Inauguration Day for this president, because it was Election Day where they saw a president elected in this country who on the campaign trail made it very clear he was out to kill the fossil fuel industry in this country. Here's then candidate Biden pledging to end drilling during a debate.
Number one, no more subsidies for fossil fuel industry, no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends.
So, Senator, should anyone in this country be surprised why gas prices are where they are today?
No one should be surprised. Joe Biden said what he was going to do. He began on day one to make his move with the ending of the Keystone Pipeline. Then he ended fracking. He took Alaska offline, offshore offline. He has said he was going to end oil and gas in this country. And now this gimmick, I agree with Obama, by the way, this is a gimmick, 18.4 cents on the gas tax, removing that. This is such an odd move for the guy who said, I'm going to be the infrastructure president. He has already spent this money. And of course it would drive up inflation, because if he thinks he's going to go pull the money from somewhere else, where is he going to get it? Taxpayers are overtaxed. This government is overspent. The spending is out of control. And to say such a thing is ridiculous. Start drilling, go back to being energy independent, restart Keystone. Would have been finished by this fall if he had not stopped it. Open up Alaska, open up offshore, go back to fracking, give drill permits for people that hold leases. That's how you address this. Yeah. Do not go hat in hand to Venezuela and Saudi Arabia. We are the United States of America. We are energy rich. We can solve this problem, but the White House is bound and determined to end fossil fuels. And the way they're going about it is transitioning people into a lot of debt. It is going to ruin livelihoods and lives. And Sandra, they are totally on the wrong track.
And people just want to know if it's going to be effective, if that money will actually end up in the pockets of the American people. To your point, President Obama, he was not a fan of the gas tax holiday, said eventually that money will not end up in consumers' pockets. Here he is, 2008. Listen.
And we're arguing over a gimmick to save you half a tank of gas over the course of the entire summer, so that everyone in Washington can pat themselves on the back.
So he called it, he agreed with you, you agree with him, I should say, calling it a gimmick then. Nancy Pelosi's even on the record saying this is nothing but showbiz. Back in March, she made that point, that we have to address the root of the problem to bring down gas prices. And here's Congressman DeFazio of the state of Oregon. And Senator, perhaps this is a sign that there will not be bipartisan support for this move. This is a Democrat saying, look what this is going to do to the infrastructure. Suspending the federal gas tax will not provide meaningful relief at the pump for American families, but it will blow a multi-billion-dollar hole in the Highway Trust Fund, putting funding for future infrastructure projects at risk. So is this president just following the polls on this issue rather than tackling the real policy changes needed to bring those prices down? Final thought.
Sandra, the team around the president comes up with some word of the day that they think is going to push off the news cycle for that day, and they can breathe a sigh of relief. The American people know better than that. They know that this is a gimmick. They know if you took off all the taxes, in Tennessee, 27.4 is the state tax. Take all that away, you still don't get under $4 a gallon, and you're going to have roads full of potholes, and you're going to have unfinished projects because that money is designated. They did that when they passed the infrastructure, non-infrastructure bill. That money is gone. And they can't do this. It is putting more of a burden on taxpayers. It would be nice for them to say, we messed this up. Let's restart Keystone.
I'm not quite sure that that's going to happen, Senator, but we'll certainly be watching all of this because this is the primary concern. Thank you very much, Senator.
It is.
John, I mean,